Welcome back to my extremely in-depth ultimate guide for The Sims 2. No, you guys are not gonna woohoo right now. Not in the intro. We gotta keep some juice for later. Juice? So yes, hello, welcome. Today I wanted to start off by going very in-depth about socialization between two Sims. So I went to my test hood because I know that I don't care about the relationships between these two Sims, so I can show you hostile behavior, aggression, fighting without any general issue in my game because I don't play this. But I wanted to start by just doing an overview of the friendly category, just what being friendly is, how do you make friends in this game. So Henry and his brother Noah are already friends. So I'm gonna make that not the case anymore. Don't worry about that. I'll let them finish their interaction. I'm also going to turn off free will because I do not want them woohooing in the background. These two had 10 children together. They didn't woohoo enough in their lives. Like, leave me alone. So now this is the situation. We are not friends anymore because, I don't know, they had a falling out. So I will start by showing you everything that is considered friendly. So anything in the talk category, if I just chat, it'll go down well. Usually you don't need a certain threshold of relationship for the chat interaction to go with, unlike with, I'd say, most interactions in the game. If I do talk about hobby and I don't know, Henry's decided that day that he doesn't, why are you talking to me about science right now? I could not care less. It might go sour, but it might also be just like having a normal chat. Like, you can see he does not care for it, minus the conversation is over. And then the other way around, I just did chat. And like you can see, this is a positive reaction. You can guess how the conversation is going to go just with how they act. Might be a bit misleading sometimes with grumpy Sims because they will look like they have very averse reactions to what the other Sim is saying. But it's just because they're so goddamn grumpy. They just always look like that. I might go in my Strange Town and have someone like chat with Cersei to show you how she reacts when someone talks to her, because she's the first example that comes to mind when I think of like a Sim that always looks mad when you talk to them. But like just a normal chat, as you can see, goes down a lot easier. And like I mentioned in the first video, there is a chance that a normal chat will not go down so smoothly if the conversation subject is not one that the other person enjoys. But I also said there's a way to circumvent that and that I would talk about it today. So I'm talking about it. Now, if I go into Henry's interests, he doesn't have any interest in food. He doesn't have any interest in health. Well, almost none. While Noah cares about food a little bit more, like halfway, 50%. I don't know how you care 50% about food. I care 100% about food. So what you can do is click on the Sim that has, I don't know if it has to be the Sim that has initiated. No, you can do it with the other one too. Love correcting myself on the spot. But anyway, you click on the Sim and you do change topic. Now I'm gonna change topic to something Henry doesn't like. It's gonna probably make him not so happy with the conversation. But let's see that together. So now they're talking about fashion. It's going pretty well. Fashion, makeup, hell yeah, queens. I guess probably gonna move on to food someday. Oh, there he goes. Sundays? Yeah, minus. No, nah. He doesn't want to talk about Sundays. I think this is good to micromanage conversations if you don't want them to go badly. But unfortunately, if the subject is already changed to something the other Sim won't like, I don't think there's a way to change the subject once it's already gone badly. So to make sure a conversation never goes down bad, you need to micromanage the conversation subject. I never do because it doesn't really matter if a conversation once in a while doesn't go perfectly. But if that's something you care about, the option is there. Now, as I said, everything in the talk category is going to be considered friendly. The gossip interaction may be refused if the other person doesn't have the same level of relationship that you do with them. It needs a certain, like a little bit of a higher threshold, not necessarily friends, but like on the way to friends. Then there's brag, share interests, and hang out. Share interest is the same as a conversation, but it's really like just saying, I love to hit baseballs, I guess. And his brother is saying, I do not care about hitting baseballs. So from now on, I hate you. This is what share interests is. But this icon is very interesting. So I'm guessing the interest in question was sports. I think this means that this conversation, since it went badly, made him lose interest in sports. So it's not that he had no interest in it, it's more like, I don't want to talk about that right now, and it made him like sports less. So this is one of the ways that the interests of your sim can be modified through gameplay. Then the hangout, so this is another talk. They just sit on the floor and talk, and they do so as long as you let them. Oh, you guys need to pee? Not anymore. Then quickly, the entertain category. I will use my elders because they have more, like they have the joke and the dirty joke. Neither of them went to university or ever chatted with someone that went to university, so they don't have the like university dance thing that's in entertain for some reason. I might try to show that later since I'm trying to be very thorough. But yes, the joke category, it has like a normal basic joke where at the end your sims will laugh and the recipient of the joke will laugh for way too long. And then you have a dirty joke, which they do awful body moves during, sometimes way worse than that. And she happened to like it, but sims that are more like proper, less outgoing, less playful, they're not the biggest fans of dirty jokes. Then everything in the play category is also friendly, so any of that, I don't think I'm going to show every single animation. Like it's just an interaction that fulfills some of their social needs and also some of the fun. Some of them obviously need a higher threshold of relationship to be accepted. Like many times I've had a sim come up to my sim, throw a water balloon in their faces, and not like a prank water balloon, but like intending to start a water balloon fight. And my sim is just so mad at them because how dare you, we only have 10/0 in our relationship bar. We need at least 15. Anyway, like they're playing with water balloons right now. It's early spring, it's cold outside, they don't care. A small hack for you, the red hens interaction fulfills the fun need a lot. Like way too much. So that's a good hack if you need two people to be much better friends with each other that also have their fun need quite low. That's a hack. Everything in the gesture category, if you have apartment life, will also be friendly. In the tell story category as well, although the subject of the story might not be to the liking of the other sim, give gift is friendly. Take my picture, I'm not even sure gives a boost in relationship. Actually, let me check that out. I know you need to pee, but you need to take my selfie first. Well, not a selfie. Well, okay, yeah, you're taking a selfie. I don't know how, but that's the picture you just taken. Now, it just gives you interest in art. I'm an artist. Stop needing to pee. Also, if it's a sim that you don't live with, there will be a lot more options in the ask category. Most of them will be friendly things, but you can also ask like, how hot do you think I am? Like, do you like what you see? This has a very romantic connotation. He's saying, bro, that's your wife. So now we're going into the basics of romance. We're pretty much done with the basics of friendly. If there's anything, well, there's the appreciate thing. If you do just admire or groom, that will be friendly. If you back rub, it can be friendly. But if you're in a relationship with someone, or if you have any flags like the crush or love, it'll have a romantic connotation. Like when they'll get a wish for it, a want for it, it'll have a little heart on it. That's how I tell them apart. The friendly back rub and the not so friendly back rub. There's no difference in the animation at all. Now, for the romantic socials, we have all of the flirts. So a wolf whistle, I don't think gives any relationship boost. It's just going in front of the other sim and being like, you are very hot to me. Oh no, it does give oh, wow. Then, in order of the lowest flirt, like the small flirts you can do, up to the hardest and highest flirts, where you need to be in love with the other person, where you need to like have a very good lifetime relationship with the person. I will explain what a lifetime relationship is pretty soon, do not worry. We have charm as the easiest. It's always the first flirt that will appear in the category when you get friendly with someone. Then sweet talk, hit on, suggestion, that are about the same level. I'm pretty sure that sweet talk appears first and then suggestion and then hit on, but all three require about the same level of relationship to be pulled off. Then you gotta be careful with hold hands. It'll appear earlier than your sim can pull it off. When the option appears, if your sim have any attraction, it will have a little lightning bolt next to it. You still need to be careful at that stage, because if you choose it, it might very well not go through and your sims will lose relationship. Same thing for caress. You need a very high relationship to pull off caress. Then goose. Goose is just like What the fuck does goose mean? It means that you need a pretty high relationship to do goose. And lastly, the serenade. I think serenade you can pull off even, like you can pull off as soon as it appears. Then we have all the kisses. The kisses are actually like, well, not exactly, but almost laid out from easiest to hardest. The first is peck. Peck is really just, well, it's a peck. It's, yeah, you don't need a very high relationship to pull that off. Then you have the tender kiss, the kiss hand, the up arm, romantic, the dance kiss, suck face, smoosh, and last but not least, make out. There is a specific memory for make out because it's just so hot. Then the hug category, the first hug that will always be there is just a friendly hug. So the friendly hug will never get relationship, romantic relationship up. But then if you flirt or if you kiss someone and you get romantic flags with that sim, you will get the option to romantic hug. So that is the easiest one to pull off. It's the base hug. Then you will have leap into arms, which is insane. If someone did that to me, I would drop them so hard. How strong is she? And then you have squeeze, which is equally crazy. I could not handle that. Like, leave me alone. Don't think I'm the biggest fan of hugs. So those are the big romantic categories. And as I said, they don't have most of them because they live together. But in the ask category, you would have like, ask what do they want? What do they fear? How much money do you have? You know, very important things to plan out a partnership with a person. And of course, there is the ultimate romantic thing. All the asexuals are quaking because I said that. Sorry, I did not mean to completely remove you from the conversation, guys. That wasn't my intention. On the bed, you have access to a new thing that we haven't seen before in any of the menus. The woo, the who. So obviously this is also a romantic interaction in the game. You cannot woohoo platonically, not without mods anyway. But like even with ACR, which I have in my game, the woohoo is not platonic. If the woohoo doesn't make you reach a certain relationship level, your sims will not get any romance flags. And now it's a very important time. It's time to make these brothers hate each other. It's time to make these brothers hate each other. Okay. So when two sims are starting to get in an argument, you know, they're starting to not like each other so much, the first thing that's available to do is just argue. You cannot go straight to beating someone's ass. If you have a decent relationship, you will need to argue a lot or let the relationship decay by not maintaining it, by having sims speak to each other and stuff. Arguing is the only way you will get it down. So to make it easier and quicker for us, I'll do the same thing I did earlier and put their relationship down considerably. Oh, not your mom. So now that our relationship is negative, I have a lot more options that will help get the relationship down quicker. I can throw a drink at him. I can insult him. I can annoy him, and I can gross him out. So all this does is just get these meters down, and we're going into enemy territory instead of where we were before, which was friend. And when we get down far enough in the relationship, we have a new option that appears, that is fight. In the fight category, we have poke, slap, shove, and attack. Attack has not appeared yet because we don't hate each other enough, but soon we will. He enjoys this. Oh my god. These actions are a little annoying because every single time the person you just shoved or poked or whatever goes away to cry like a baby. So annoying. So now he hates his brother a lot because his brother's been a bully. If I go into the fight section, I can make him attack him. So let's just do it. Get his ass! Get his ass! He got his ass. And they just became enemies. Which brings me to my next subject, which is all of the different flags you can get. So I've been talking a lot about relationship flags. I've been saying that word a lot without explaining what it is because I knew I was going to explain it later. A relationship flag is basically a little icon that appears when you reach a certain value on the daily meter or the lifetime meter. So as the game explains it, relationships are represented by a daily meter on the top and a lifetime meter on the bottom. The daily meter will go up a lot faster than the lifetime meter. Daily relationships change quickly based on recent interactions, while lifetime relationships change slowly over time. The icons below the meters show what type of relationship two sims share, and it also reminds us that a relationship between two Sims might not be reciprocated. So for example, he could be an enemy with his brother and hate his guts, while his brother could very well not mind him at all. So the relationship flags is what this little description calls the icons below the meters. So you have, in the order that it gives us, engaged, which is just a little diamond ring, so cute. Crush, one little pink heart. Friend, blue smiley face. Married or gay married, I don't know why the game feels the need to separate those. Two wedding bands. Going steady is two pink hearts. Enemy is a red frowny face. Love, red heart. Best friends, two smiley faces, green. Poor chemistry, big red X not on the lightning bolt. Mild chemistry, you get 1. Medium chemistry, you get 2 bolts. And strong chemistry, you get 3. You don't see that often, so when you do, you jump at the offer. And then the last ones are like pet things, except the best friends forever, but it's like all pet things. So you have the little paw in the yellow circle, which is a pet's master. Then you have the pink paw, which is mine. Best friends forever, 2 yellow smiley faces. Pet friend is a blue paw. Best friend for pets is 2 green paws, and pack is 2 orange yellowish paws. So those are the relationship flags. And like, I'm not going to explain how to get every single one of them, but like, to get the friend flag, you need to reach at least, this is not a good example, I guess his sister doesn't like him as much as he does, but like 50/0, you're friends with someone. To get best friend, you need at least 75 on the lifetime meter at the bottom. To be best friends forever, you just need to be best friends with another sim for a set period of time. Then for love, you need to have, I think it's also 75 on the lifetime meter, but including like romantic interactions. Going steady in an unmodded game is only something that teenagers can do. The game does something strange when it comes to adults, where if two Sims are in love with each other, they are considered an item. So you can just propose to anyone you're in love with. You don't need to be in a relationship with them. It's kind of strange, but anyway. And then for crush, if I'm not wrong, I think you only need 50/0, but like mix in some romantic interactions to get the crush flag. And then of course, engaged and married, well, you need to ask the other sim, do you want to get engaged? Do you want to get married? And then you'll have those flags. And obviously you need a very good relationship to be able to pull those interactions off. So that should be it for the socialization section. That is what I had scripted anyway. So now I want to move on to finding a job and going to work. Now we are in my Pleasant View in my biggest house. Can you say rich? Because I needed to just use an adult to show you how to find a job. You can do it either by clicking on a computer and choosing the option find a job, or clicking on the newspaper that will be delivered to your home and choose find a job. The only issue with the newspaper to me is that you only get a choice between 3 careers, while on a computer I think it's 5. He already has a job, so I'm not going to make him change his job. He's in the education career, but I just wanted to show you what happens when you look for a job. So the online job finder will tell you a set of randomized career that it can find for you. And then you can either take that job, look again for the next one, or end your search if you're done. You're done with capitalism for today. I don't want to know more about it. And then it also gives you all of the things that you might be interested in knowing. So for example, this journalism job as a fact checker is a 9 to 4. Oh damn. From Monday to Friday. So you get Saturday and Sunday off. You get 385 a day. It closed in my face. Spencer, please look for it again. And then it just asks you, do you want it? We'll say no. Look again. It's always good to compare and contrast between every job. For example, this gamer job as a button masher, whatever that is, pays a lot less than the journalism job. So if your only concern is I want money now, you should probably pick journalism over gamer. It has a similar schedule. You're off on Wednesday and you work on Sunday, which is, oh, wow. Oh, no. And it's also a 9 to 4. Oh, that's good also. I can talk about being retired after. Thank you, Wilbur. Then the architecture career as a cement mixer. Obviously, all those careers you can move up in if you work on your skills, if you work on your friends. But for now, I'm really just talking about the base, like looking for a job, getting a job, going to work. That's all. For this career, you get only paid 155 a day. Not very interesting to me. The journalism career looks like the Chad. Whoa! Whoa! Show business career as a bit player from 9 to 4, 714 a day. Oh, but we're about to get rich. No, I'm not. He's a high school teacher. I'm not about to take that career. But you see what I mean? It's important to shop around if the important thing for you is money. And this is fun. Mortician career is my only modded career, and it's pretty fun that it popped up because she's in it. Astrid is a funeral home director. Slay! These careers will very often have a more realistic schedule, realistic pay. So for example, this is from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You get only 87 a day. So don't get modded careers if all you care about is money. But see, she moved on up in her career. She still works for a long time from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. but she makes $7.20 a day, so you can still get that moolah. Now Wilbur here is a retired Hall of Famer. The Hall of Famer level of the sports career is the top level. So when you reach the top level of a career, your daily pay for retirement will be much higher than if you reached, I don't know, level 5, level 6. You will still get a substantial amount of money every day, but nothing like 650. I am also not certain about it, and it's very difficult to look up, but I feel like when my Sims stay longer in their careers, like up until mid-elderhood, like if they work at the top level of their career for longer, they get more daily pay once they retire. I don't know if that's a fact, but that is a feeling I have. From my gameplay experience. But of course, if you worked as an adult, you can keep working at the same level as an elder. Though, if you try to look for a job as an elder, if you're unemployed, you will only be able to pick between part-time careers. So jobs that will start at like 3 p.m. and end at 6, little jobs like that. But if you had a full-time job before aging up into an elder, you will keep it. So for example, Carter is still chief of staff, which is the top level of, I think it is. Yes. The top level of the medical career, and he makes $1,500 a day. So it's a lot more profitable for me to keep him in that career and to make him retire. But sometimes I like being nice with my Sims and making them retire anyway. And in the case of like the athletic sports career or the dance career, things that are very physical, I usually feel weird letting elders do those careers. Not that older people cannot do anything. That is not what I want to be the take back from this, but it's a lot like you can be a flamenco prodigy at 98. You could be. I'm just gonna worry about your hip. I feel it's more reasonable, more believable to make these careers, the Sims in these careers retire, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, now going to work. Oh, I forgot she was pregnant. How nice. Sometimes my Sims like to surprise me. Is anyone going to work this morning? 6 p.m., 10 a.m. Okay. An hour before the Sims shift at work starts, you will get this notification that the carpool will be over in an hour to pick them up and bring them to work. If you have a car and you decided to set your owner as one of the people that have a job, the carpool will not come to pick up your Sim. Your Sim will instead take the car to go to work. But in the case of the 2 Sims I have going to work this morning, they go in a carpool. This is also a great opportunity to show you a kid going to school. That's not what we're talking about at all, but an hour before school starts, the school bus will come to pick up your kid and then drive off and go to school. You can also walk to school. You can also drive your kid to school in the car. And if you're late, walking or driving in the car is the only way to go to school. The school bus leaves like at 9 a.m. If the kid has not gone in the bus leaves. It does not wait for you forever. Thankfully, because that beeping, honking at the front of the house would be so annoying. This is going to be pretty intense because what is going to pick both of my Sims up today is not a normal car. These 2 older men are very advanced in their oh yes, they are very advanced in their relationship, clearly, but they're also very advanced in their careers. They are very high level. He's a lawyer, Miles is a lawyer, and Oliver is a businessman. So they have an helicopter picking them up. This is also part of why I don't make them drive to work, because this is cool as shit. But at the end of the day, this is the same thing as if a normal little shitty, ugly, dirty car picked them up for work. It's the same thing, because at the end of the day, the result is the same. It's just the helicopter is much cooler. We can watch it drive off. Woohoo! Waha! And they're off. They are at work. Right, you're pregnant. Shit. I need to take care of her. He's playing with Smeagol the cat. Anyway, I think you just got thrown up on. I'm getting out of here. Now, with the help of my sim here that is bathing, I'm so sorry, Lou. I want to show you someone who's like beginning in a career. Has gotten maybe a couple promotions, not too much, because he's beginning in life. He's just out of university. You have all the requirements for your job. The skill requirements are highlighted as this like darker circle on the level of skill that you need to reach. As you can see, he's an overachiever. He's got another point in every single skill in advance on his like requirement for a promotion. And then the other requirement you will have is the number of family friends. Now, to this day, I still think this is the dumbest shit ever, but it's in the game and it has never caused me much issue. For now, they as an household have 7 family friends. That means every single friend that the both of them have separately put together without, of course, doubling up on the duplicates if they have the same friends. So we have 7 family friends. And for my next promotion, it says I need 0 more. So I'm good. But if we didn't have enough family friends, for example, it would say +1, 2, 3, 4. The most I've seen was like 5. That was insane. But all that means is you need this many friends as a family, as an household to get a promotion. Maybe the people you live with in the house don't count. I think your family members count if they don't live in the same house. And also, I just want to show you Maxine. She's something. We might go in depth about how to skill up in every single skill in the future, but I think that is something that's quite self-explanatory. Like if you want to skill up in the cooking skill, you need to either cook or read a book about cooking or watch the cooking channel on the TV. All 3 of those things will get your cooking skill up. If you click on a bookshelf in the study category, you will get 3 skills that you can work on with a book: cooking, mechanical, cleaning. You can also get the mechanical skill up by repairing objects that are broken or by tinkering on objects that are not broken. He can't do it because I guess he's too bad at mechanical. I don't know why he can't do it, but he can't. Charisma can, I think, only be worked on with a mirror by either doing practice speech or practice romance. I might be mistaken there. I know, of course, if you are a toddler, you can work on it with the bunny toy. But as an adult, I think it's only the mirror. Body you can work on by anything that is physical, like working out, swimming in a pool, doing yoga. You can get the logic skill up by looking into a telescope, playing chess. Creativity is stuff like an easel, this here, piano, anything that makes music, a guitar, violin, any of that. And cleaning, of course, by cleaning objects. I think everything is clean in this house. They're clean freaks. Oh, no, you can clean the oven, hell yeah. And learning about it in a book. These other things, the fire safety, parenting, anger management, lifelong happiness, physiology, and couples counseling, I might talk about another time. They are like lifetime skills, and honestly, I myself am still a little bit like okay about them. I don't know. It's the only reason I sometimes get my Sims to learn them is because they have a want to do it. I never use them, but maybe you'd think they are interesting and useful, so I might talk about them later in another part of this guide. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to job is alternative jobs. So now, of course, you know how to find a traditional job with the computer or the newspaper, but these jobs are not the only way to make money in The Sims 2. In this household, for example, my Sim Keith does not have a traditional job, has never had a traditional job, but he's a florist. He has a business selling flowers, and I'd say like one day he makes the flowers and the next day I go and sell the flowers. And clearly it's lucrative enough. I mean, they have good family funds. They live in this cute ass little apartment. It can still be pretty profitable, especially when you get very good in the skill that you're using to sell things. With businesses, you can sell pretty much anything that you buy in buy mode. You can sell pretty much anything that you can craft. I'm pretty sure you can sell your own paintings if you don't want to sell them directly on the easel, because when you're done with the painting, you can just click on it and choose sell. If you want to fix cars and sell them, you can do that. If you want to make pottery and sell your pieces, you can do that. If you want to stitch clothes and sell them, you can do that. If you want to make toys and sell them, you can do that. And if you want to make freaking robots and sell them, you can do that. And then you can also just sell furniture or have a bar, have any type of business ever. Businesses and hobbies just called. Then of course in the alternative jobs, you also have farming. It's not as lucrative as a normal job, and it's very hard to do if there's a winter at any time, but it's possible to have almost all of your income come from farming, from growing produce. Unfortunately, in The Sims 2, there's no like farm animals. There's nothing like that. So all of the money from farming that you would get would be from produce, but still, you can make money fishing by selling your fish. You could be a fisher, like a full-time fisherman. You could be. You can also write books in the game, and every time you finish a book, you get some royalty payments. You only get it once though, but once you get pretty good at writing, you get like 2K, 3K for every book. So if you treat it as a job and you spend like almost all day writing, you can make a pretty penny pretty quickly. And then of course you can pull a Darren Dreamer and be a full-time painter. So you need to be very good in creativity if you want your paintings to be worth enough to pay the bills and furnish the house, buy groceries. But it's an option, it's there. So you don't necessarily have to have a 9 to 5 to get money in this game. And also I think it's important to mention, in Keith's case, his business is another lot entirely, so I have to travel to make him go to it. But I could also have him have a home business. I could sell the flower bouquets directly from my house. It's even pretty fun to play that way. But yes, if you don't want to worry too much about skills, about making friends and stuff, you can go for something a bit less classic when it comes to work and how you get your money. In the first installment of this guide, we made a single sim, and it's obviously a lot easier to keep the needs up and take care of a single sim than it is to take care of an entire family. So I wanted to talk about controlling multiple sims and autonomy. In this family, we're back in the test hood for this one. So in this family, I have 3 sims and a dog that is melting through the floor. Don't mind it, does that sometimes. So as you can see, the green box at the top here around Brent's face means that I have selected Brent, and I have his face here, I have his wants, I have his fears. So if I click on something, I also have his head, his face, so I know that he's the one I'm directing to go do something. If I press the space bar, or if I click on another sim's face, I will select another sim. So I can just do it manually like that, or I can press the space bar to go to the next sim. Now the green square has changed. It is now on Charlie's, and I see her portrait here. I know that she's selected. Same thing if I want to go to Hugo, I can just space bar, or I can just click on him. And then he's the one I drive around. So I could have everybody come and view the statue at the same time, and they will all come and do it together. And if you leave the game as it is, you don't change any options, your sim will always, by default, have free will. If I put the game on speed 3 and I just let it do its thing, my sims are gonna go do stuff. In this case, they're gonna go and woohoo. That's fine. I can leave it like that for an entire day. I can leave it like that for their entire lives. They're gonna take care of their needs as best as they can in order of priority. So you can see he was getting close to pissing his pants, so he went for the toilet first and then eating second. It's not always perfect, but they try. So this is autonomy. They will just go and try to do things themselves. It's obviously not very good, but they try. If that bothers you, if you want to be in control of everything, if you want to make sure that your sims are always well cared for, you can turn the free will off. All you need to do is go into options here, or press F5 and then go into game options. It's going to be the last thing at the bottom, house specific options, and you have the choice to put free will on or off. If you set it to off and then go into live mode again, your sims will not have free will. So if I keep it on 3 speed, as you can see, he's not doing anything. I didn't ask him to do anything. Now they're getting hungry and they're mad at me because they cannot do anything. If I was to leave it like that long enough, they would die. So I usually always play with free will on, but you might prefer it off. And now it is time for me to explain, go into deep detail, that's not something people say, about every single need. Welcome to taking care of needs and understanding needs. The first need at the top of your needs panel here, which you can find in the needs plumb up next to your wants, is hunger. Hunger is simple. It's eating. Your Sims need to eat. It is important to note that the higher your cooking skill is, the better the dishes you make are, and the more the hunger is satiated by them. So, if your Sim has just skilled up in cooking and you notice that a new meal has appeared in the list, that means that that meal would be more filling than mac and cheese or TV dinner. For example, with Brent, I have some modded foods that I'm not going to talk about. I'm going to talk about only the actual game foods. So clearly, spaghetti, salmon, pork chops, hamburger, even the chef salad are meals that my Sim unlocked by getting better at the cooking skill, and that will provide more sustenance than mac and cheese would. The most filling in all that he has, all the recipes he's unlocked, are salmon and pork chops for now. When you get better at cooking, you also unlock more desserts. I also have modded desserts. Once again, I'm not going to talk about those, but when you have no skill or low skill, the only thing you're able to do is gelatin. And then when you get more skill, you get the scented cookies, the crêpe Suzette, the layer cake, the berry pie, and the cheesecake. Careful with the cheesecake though, guys. If you eat cheesecake while pregnant, you are certified to have twins. And as a beginner player, I don't think you want twins. I'm gonna just put it out there. I don't think you want twins. Then the next skill is comfort. Comfort for me is not an issue very often. It'll pose more of an issue for elder Sims or pregnant Sims. Pregnant Sims will lose comfort a lot faster, especially if they want to throw up but they keep it in. That drops their comfort completely, and then all they do is complain that they're uncomfortable, they have a crick in their neck. The solution is sitting or lounging on a couch. The more expensive the couch, the better. Or relaxing and sleeping in a bed. Same thing, the more expensive the piece of furniture, the better it is. The comfort will go up higher. And taking a bath, whether it's a normal bath or a bubble bath, will also give you comfort. The bladder need. You need to pee. Go to the bathroom. That's just click on the toilet and click use. That's it. If you don't do it, you'll pee your pants. Energy. Sleep. You can choose to nap, although that doesn't get your energy up much at all, or you can choose to sleep in a bed. Pajamas or underwear doesn't change anything. It's sleep. At the end of the day, it's all sleep. Once again, the better the bed, the better the sleep. Your Sims will be rested quicker on an expensive bed than they would be on a cheap bed. And I find it important to mention, no, your game is not bugged. Elders wake up in the middle of the night as soon as they are fully rested. They just wake up. They don't care that it's 2 a.m. Honestly, this bothered me so much and for so long that it was one of the main things keeping me from playing The Sims 2 again once The Sims 3 came out. Know that if that annoys you a lot as well, there is a mod to fix that, and I will teach you how to mod your game eventually. Then we have fun. Fun can be fulfilled in many ways. It can be fulfilled by watching TV, watching a movie. It can be fulfilled by looking at art for some reason. If I go back and look at this statue, which is not a priority seeing how hungry I am, but still, my fun is going to go up. And of course, as we have seen earlier, you can get fun by playing with another Sim. You can have fun by reading a book in a bookshelf if you have one. You can have fun by playing a game on a computer or playing a console game with your television. I think you can get fun by hunting, anything that will get you hobby enthusiasm that could be potentially fun will get you a bit of fun. It won't be as good as watching TV or anything, but it will get you somewhere. The social need is the only one that has a very big consequence that is also not deadly. If your social need gets low enough, you will get the visit of a beautiful friend called the social bunny. And the social bunny's only sole purpose is to be a cup to be filled with all of your social needs. You can attack the poor thing. You can make lovey-dovey stuff to the poor thing. You can talk to him, you can joke, you can play, and the bunny will stay for as long as your social need is not filled, I think halfway or maybe 3/4 of the way. Social need is of course fulfilled by talking to people, by having any interaction, even even negative ones will fulfill your social need. You could also fulfill it by playing console games. I think it's supposed to be online. That's why you get social from it. You can also get social from chatting with people on the computer. Then hygiene is another one that is pretty much straightforward. You stink, you take a bath, or you take a shower. In this case, I'm not so sure that the more expensive the bath or the more expensive the shower, the quicker you get clean. Well, let me see that right now, actually. Does it say anything? It does say hygiene 8, comfort 8, and this just says 6. Okay, yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. So the more expensive the bath, the more efficient it is at cleaning you. That's how it works. And also the more comfortable, like everything. If it's more expensive, it'll be more comfortable, it'll clean you faster, and it'll also be better for the environment of the room. Showers don't provide comfort, but still, if it's more expensive, it'll get you clean faster. This one is the most expensive shower, and it gets you hygiene 10. That means that's the top of the line, baby. All right, and the last need that we have is environment. Environment is, I don't want to say it's useless because it's not. Its use is making your Sims uncomfortable when it's low. Because when it's high, like you don't have anything, you don't see your Sims like, enjoying their surroundings, like, oh, that's nice, I love this house, it's pretty, it's nice. Like, you don't have anything like that. But when the environment is bad, then they let you know. Like, I have this puddle on the ground in the kitchen that could get the environment down. If the trash can was full, overflowing, if the oven was dirty, if the counters were dirty. In the bathroom, like if the toilet, the sink, the bath is dirty, all three at the same time. If you stepped in the room, your environment would be pretty low. If you have pieces of art in the room, like in my child's room here, which I put there in an attempt to sway headmaster, the environment score of the room will go up because it's like prettier to look at, I guess. I don't know why a marble bust makes a child's bedroom better, but it does. And if you've played The Sims 1 and you were really bothered with it, don't worry. In The Sims 2, if the environment outside of your house is bad, it does not follow your Sims at work. Your Sims do need to have like decent needs before going to work in The Sims 2, or else they might face like some lowering work performance. The environment score will not drag all of this down if the environment outside of the house before they left for work was not really adequate, let's say. So don't worry about it too much if you have like 100 holes because you dug for treasure all night on your lawn. It's not gonna cause a problem. So I mentioned it quickly earlier, but I think it's important to bring up the headmaster again. So when you invite the headmaster in your home to hopefully have your child get in private school, you have the option to give the headmaster a tour of your home. And the way you can know if the headmaster will like a room before you even show it to them is by looking at the environment need of your sim. See, in that case, because of the pee puddle, I'm pretty sure, if the headmaster was there and I was trying to show him the room, he would go like, nah, that room sucks, there's dog pee in it. I would have to agree with him, because where's there fucking dog piss in the room? Whatever. Yes, this is how you will know. There is, I don't want to call it a myth because it's not totally untrue, but on the internet, a lot of places that will give you tips on what to do if you want to have a successful headmaster event will tell you that you need expensive pieces of art in every room. That is not true. You can have a very successful tour of your house in a completely disgusting, well, not disgusting in the, like you can have a very successful headmaster event in a house that has very simple furnishings, almost no decorations, as long as it's clean. If the house is clean and your environment need when you're walking inside the house is like here or full, then the headmaster will like the room. That's as simple as that. You don't need to have the fucking Venus de Milo in your house. You don't need to, you don't need that. You can have it But yes, that's pretty much all there is to say about environment. But about the energy skill, something that this child has just reminded me of. If you send a sim to sleep before midnight and they're fully rested before midnight, as was the case for Hugo, they will wake up. So now if I just left it like that, Hugo would be awake all night. But I can do this and put him back to bed. But we're done here anyway. I'm really showing you guys the duality of all my Sims families. All right, welcome to whatever this is. The last thing I wanted to talk about in this part is, what are all these meters next to my Sims portraits? What is this? I'll tell you. First, you have the influence meter. Now, influence is a whole thing in and of itself that I will explain. Don't worry. But this specifically is the meter that tells you how much influence your sim has. This little pointing finger says, use your sim's influence to get other sims to do his or her biting. You could have said theirs. You could have said theirs. And then it says that my current influence is 0. So wow. And Jackson needs one more friend to attain the next influence level. So at least it's clear what you gotta do. So if I got one friend, then I would have a current influence of 1. What having any influence allows you to do is to click on this option here on any sim that you want influence to, and then you will have options with values. He has a current influence of 3,000, which means I think that he's like level 3 of the influence meter. So I have 3,000 influence points that I can spend on things that I can ask anyone to do. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be friends with them. You don't need to have a good relationship with them. You can ask pretty much anyone to do anything as long as you have the influence points, which you gain by making friends. So I could ask Lola, I think, yes, to clean. I could ask her to serve a meal, to bathe, talk to someone, hug someone, play with someone. I could even ask her to fight someone, play a prank on someone else. If you're in university, you get options like ask another sim to do your homework or your term paper. If you try to influence another adult, you can ask them to flirt, which I couldn't do with a teen, but I could ask her to kiss. Why can I ask her to kiss but not flirt? And of course, you have less options with children and with strangers that are not part of your family. You get different things that you can ask them to do. This child is called bald ass. So that's the influence meter. That is what that means. Then you have the lifetime aspiration meter. So this says that the lifetime aspiration meter can be raised by keeping your aspiration high and completing important life events like learning to walk. By raising your lifetime aspiration, you can unlock powerful new abilities. Now, what they mean by that is the more you raise this thing, the more you keep your aspiration up consistently, the more aspiration benefit points you will unlock. And we spoke about aspiration benefits in the previous video. There are like these things that you can unlock here. So the more lifetime aspiration you get, the more aspiration benefits you get, and to get more lifetime aspiration, you need to keep your aspiration high, which means fulfilling once. And last but not least, you have the aspiration meter, just the classic. The aspiration meter shows you how well your sim is doing when it comes to wants and fears. So for example, Katie here is in a gold aspiration because she's pretty happy. She got wants fulfilled recently. She has not had any significant fears come true. She's doing pretty good. Now you can see here that Jakey blindfolded has a platinum aspiration. That means that recently he's got a lot of wants, probably big power wants fulfilled. And so now he's got a very high aspiration. Now I'm going to show you fulfilling a want with a cheat, but it doesn't matter whether you do it organically or not. I'm going to show you both actually. So if I fulfill this one to buy a game, for example, it does this, does a little sound, and the aspiration meter goes up. I'll go and speak to Lola since this is something she wants to do. So as you can see, same thing happens. It gets fulfilled, the aspiration meter goes up. It doesn't matter that the chat doesn't go down super well because her want was just to chat. So now if Katie was to continue keeping her aspiration meter that high, to continue fulfilling wants constantly, then little by little, the lifetime aspiration meter will also go up. So the aspiration meter influences that one. Now, on the other side of your character, you have this thing here, which shows you the seasons. Currently, we are in summer. The season that's highlighted and has like a green progress bar on it is the season that your Sims are currently in. And if you hover on the season, it tells you how many days left until the season is over, clearly. So we have 1 day left in summer. That means that in the middle of the night, if I was to keep playing this family, it would switch to the fall season. And then we would have, I think, 5 days in fall. It's 5 days per season in a classic, like unmodded, completely untouched game. Now seasons, of course, when it's fall, the leaves are going to fall down the trees. It's going to be a bit colder outside. Your Sims might change into their winter wear when they go out. Winter, it's going to snow. It's going to be cold. You're going to be able to do snow angels, build snowman if you click on the ground where there's a lot of snow. And then spring, well, the snow will melt. It's going to get hotter. It's going to rain a lot. And then back to summer. But I think you guys know what seasons are. So... And lastly, since I've been talking about all the meters, I think it's important to talk about this one here. It's at the middle here currently. Oh, went up a little bit, but it can definitely go down to the bottom. And that is the mood meter. It's an amalgamation of all of your Sims needs, high or low. For example, if I fulfill all of her needs perfectly, she's never felt so good before, then it's at pretty much at the top. You cannot cheat environment. Environment will always go back to what it's supposed to be. But if I make her completely miserable, then it goes down almost all the way to the bottom. It's hard to go really fully down to the bottom because then your Sim would be dead. But yes, this is what this meter means. It's also the reason why the color behind the Sim's portrait here will change. Because for example, now she's in a red mood, so the color behind her portrait is like orangey, dark orange red. If I somehow got all of her needs even lower, then it would change to even a darker orange, almost red. So when you see those types of colors behind your Sim's portrait, you know that something has gone wrong, something you need to do, something quickly. So this is the mood meter. And for me, I think that's kind of too bad because when you reach platinum aspiration, like I'll make her reach it in a totally legit way, then her mood meter will also be platinum, which makes no sense because it's not. The mood is not the aspiration. Yes, I understand that the aspiration is now platinum, but her mood is not perfect. Having a platinum aspiration doesn't mean that her mood is suddenly perfect. And I think that that's dangerous, especially for newer players, because you might not notice. You will see a white background and you might think that everything with your Sim's needs is wonderful. And the Sim might be like this. I have made her needs absolutely awful and she's still platinum on the mood meter and she's still white here in the background. So that can be a bit dangerous if you're not used to it and if you don't check your Sims needs often. I always have the needs panel open for my Sims, always. I never play like this. I never play with any other panel open. I always play with my needs panel open. That way I always know how my Sims are feeling, what I need to do to fix whatever needs fixing. I think the most anxiety inducing thing is watching someone play the Sim, whether 2, 3, or 4, and not look at their needs at all. They play like this. They don't pay attention to anything. They don't care. They just play like this, like, oh, why is she going to bed? Get up. It's 10 a.m. And if you freaking looked at the once, maybe you would know why she's going to bed at 10 a.m. You know what I mean? Anyway, so that's how I recommend you play, especially if you're starting off. Always have the needs panel open. I'm just gonna hold out for the bunny to show up, and then when it does, I'll finish this video. Where's the bunny? There it is. So hello. So as I said, you can family kiss. I thought you could full on like make out with this thing. Where's her? I was on fast forward. I think she did a family kiss once and it fulfilled like half of her social thing and the bunny left. Now this is a different bunny. He's yellow. Hello. Kisses. It's pretty hot. You can fight it. As I said, you can attack it. I thought you could flirt and like romantically kiss it. And the only game you can play is Punch You Punch Me? Okay. But anyway, the important thing is that it fulfills your social need. And you could definitely play with like a Sim that's alone all the time and it wouldn't matter so much because the bunny would swing by to help with the social need. It stays until your social need is fulfilled halfway and then it leaves. But still, it's an option that's there And if you're wondering why my girl looks so busted, it's because she got fucked up at a makeover station. So that is all I wanted to cover in this second episode. So now hopefully you know how not to kill your sim. For the next episode, I have not scripted yet everything I want to talk about, but I should do that pretty soon. And I'm still trying to go from like the most basic base stuff and move on to more complicated stuff, more complex things that you need to have understood the basics to even like dabble in. So yeah, I'll start writing that soon, I guess, and I'll see you then. So as always, guys, I love you and I care about you. Please follow me on all of my social medias. They will be linked down below, as well as my Ko-fi if that is something that could interest you. So sleep tight, don't let the Bud Light bite. Tschüss!